This is ECTV based on logistics. I am Amici Vivian. I'll be driving straight to our top story with a special guest who has an inside look of what's really happening. Joining us now is the CEO, the MD of E&C Logistics. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Vivian, for having me. I'm Honorable John Mary Sienanago, known as Ezesunachiwon of Olo Kingdom, always in Ezago in Enugu State. And here in Lagos, I am the Otumba Taishe of Ibaland.
Great. So let's get into the questions. For a viewer who is at the comfort of their home and doesn't know what it's like to clear, or who has not been to Apapa or Tin Can ports and doesn't know what it looks like to clear goods there, how would you describe, or what does it look like to clear goods there today?
Well, if you're talking about Africa in general, it may be a different thing. But when you're talking about Nigeria, Nigeria is a unique place where we have so many obstacles when you want to clear your goods out of the port. But some importers who have not experienced what we do, especially when we perform our duty as logistic company, they will always blame the logistic company for not bringing out their goods on time, for taking more than 2 days without knowing the process. For example, any ship that left abroad coming to Nigeria, it can give you a particular date when the ship will arrive, but surprisingly, sometimes the ship can bat, but it will not offload. It will take 2, 3 days or even more, depending on the availability of space where they can dock their containers. And aside from that, the other issues we do have is when it comes to what I call PA in clearing terms. That PA means pre-arrival assessment report. That is the document that determines what we are going to pay for amount you are going to pay to custom duty and all that. And most times they can even prepare their documentation, submit everything online and waiting for the part to generate what you are going to pay. Due to network issue, that can take some hours, days, depends on the situation on ground. So aside from that too, people don't know that we have different departments at the port where you go and process your documentation. For example, the SON, you have to go and confirm that the quality of what you're bringing into the country is what the country will accept. And they will have to do all that through your paperwork and what they will come and see. The same thing goes to the custom, the same thing goes to some police, the maritime police who are in the ports, and also NDLA and so many other people. So all these agencies, they are there working for one particular container, and their eye is on every container that comes into this country. And aside these people I mentioned now, the Obenge one that equally becomes an issue sometimes is the terminal and the shipping company. So when you go to the shipping company, you see queue where people are having issues with their documentation, having issues with their BL and so many other things, especially now that I don't receive BL in hard copy. Everything goes online now. So sometimes shipping company may make mistake. You give them information about the goods description, the quantity, the concerning details, and the person who generates the thing from abroad may make some mistakes. When you discover that this is happening here, it will take you time to go and correct those errors and start all over again. These are the process we'll go through. After doing that, you still go to the customs, the police, the NDLA, and even the SON, informing them that this container is due. You have a particular date for examination. All of them will come and put their eye to see that what you have told them in your documents, it is what they will see physically. So these are the things that takes time. So when someone is at home giving you his containers to bring into this country, he's just waiting for the container to arrive to his warehouse. But the stress you go through to make sure that the container comes out and arrives to his place or his warehouse, his shop or wherever, he doesn't know those words. So those are the challenges.
All right, sir. So if you could fix one major problem at the Lagos port right now, be it custom documentation, port congestion, or bad road, what would it be?
Wow, this one is a big one. Well, if I'm in charge of the port authority, for example, and I'm asked to fix one problem, I will go for congestion.
Okay.
Yeah, because thousands of containers, if not millions, comes to Nigeria every day on daily basis. And these containers, everything centers, almost everything in quotes, centers in Lagos. Let me say, okay, for example, 80% of the ship load coming to Nigeria centers on Lagos. And that's supposed to cause a lot of congestion. Because of the congestion at Apapa Port, they created Tinkan Port. From Tinkan Port, now we have Lekki Seaport. From Lekki Seaport, so many people have been given license to start operating what we call bonded terminal, meaning that private individual can now invest in the industry. But the only reason why those things are allowed is because there's much congestion. What does private bonded terminal do? Private bonded terminal serves the purpose of a kind of spray warehouse. If you are using a warehouse now and your warehouse is filled up, if you don't have an extra warehouse where you can just keep something for temporary, definitely you will have problem. So bonded terminal serve this purpose, and that is why you see it as something people now see as a very big business. So if, for example, what happens in China, Dubai, or some other places happen in Nigeria, every shipment will not be coming to Lagos. I said 80%. Maybe 20% go to Warri and One, Port Harcourt ports. But if other states that are privileged to have their own sea, their own waterway that can accommodate big ships, those waterway, if it is being cleared like River Niger, River Benue, and so many of them like that, most of these ships will be sent to those places according to those who reside at that area.
Yeah.
I live in Dubai for 14 good years. Dubai have what we call Jebel Ali Seaport and some other ports. When you go to China, we also have so many ports in Ningbo, Nansa, many ports there. The reason for creating most of these ports is for us to have this congestion at the port. And for example, why I said it was better for me to choose congestion, not even custom or other things, or even the bad road. No. The reason I choose congestion is because congestion also causes delay in delivering container. Sometimes you finish with your documentation, you finish with custom, you finish with every other agency. But when it comes for you to do examination, they will now tell you that the container that's supposed to be at Apapa APMT, it is now at CFAS. CFAS is the distance from Apapa to CFAS is a different thing altogether. And that side also operates on their own way. So you now start going for another process. By the time you go to CFAS, they will tell you, oh, why didn't you choose us before? It is the shipping company that brought it. Go to the shipping company, let them give you a letter. You bring letter, you go back, they say there's a mistake, go and correct it. And these things, sometimes you even go, they say the person in charge or the person that's supposed to sign it is not on seat. He traveled yesterday. He will come back. He went to Abuja. You know, that 1 week you wasted will be there for nothing. Meanwhile, while you are battling with all this, the shipping company charges is counting. The terminal charges is counting because you are using their services. You are using their warehouse. So at the end of it all, you are paying extra. If you now went back to the owner of the consignment, the importer now, and so okay, I have spent 2 weeks, 3 weeks clearing your goods. There's a demolition of so. So you say, no, don't tell me that. Because this is not what we agreed. You have told me how much it would take in clearing my containers. Why are you now adding extra charge? So you see that when the clearing agents will continue to suffer what we are not supposed to suffer. So the issue of congestion is what I will handle. And I hope you have the contact to give me. So I will be given the opportunity to handle this.
It's interesting because I never knew all of this.
We also want to seize this opportunity to thank the governments of the day and even the previous government who made it possible for a port in One to be in operation. If you are conversant with what happens in the logistic industry, you also know that so many years ago, none of all these ports is functioning. But now, you can take your car. In fact, one of the biggest ships were able to travel all the way from abroad down to Lagos, from Lagos to One port, where we celebrated a ship carrying 1,000 containers on this one ship, single ship. And that was amazing. And I know the present government also have their plans since they have been able to open that on a port and allow it to be functional, and Wally port for those carrying oil and all that, I also know that they will be working seriously on getting Onitsha port, Wally seaport, and some other Benue ports. Let them make it functional. That will also help people to reduce stress. Because you can imagine coming all the way from Benue to Lagos to clear your container. Sometimes, because of the bad road, one may not be able to get his container on time. It may take 2 weeks extra just on the road. And if the truck get to have issue on the road, it will be another wahala. So they should reduce the headache on our head. The BP is not good for any person, including me. So going through all this stress, I believe is also part of the thing that's causing hardship. So, but if something is being brought to your doorstep, just like E&C Logistics, E&C Logistics will say, bring your goods. We'll bring it to your doorstep. Those who receive their goods at their doorstep, they feel more relaxed. They are happy. They can have their time for every other thing because they know E&C will handle from points of country of origin to their doorstep. So if the government of the day can allow every other seaport to open, and then the people at that locality will enjoy the dividends of government. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. So, walk us through a simple timeline.
Okay.
When a ship docks at the wharf with your container, what other processes does it take before it gets to the warehouse?
I mentioned it at your first question, but to add more to it, because it's menu, it's not even something we can finish today. It's a journey that can travel from here to China if you are using power bike, So, but then for us here, it is another issue which I would like to bring in. The issue of declaring what we have in your documentation is something every importer, every consignee needs to be very, very careful about, because most of the people you give your information outside there, they don't know what goes on here. They don't know how we operate. They only work on what you give them. So most of the things I see sometimes is misinterpretation of the information you give them. Some of them may not know the real meaning of the item you told them to put or what we have in your container. Some people may have more than 1 or 2 items. They will now mistakenly put another item that is not even there at all. So by the time you get to Nigeria, you may not know. It's not your intention. But by the time the government see the document, they will see that, oh, this person wants to boycott some certain thing. You don't want to pay this, you don't want to pay that. But the truth is that the mistake came from the country of origin. So another issue we have is the transport system we have here. The transport system we have here, especially at the port, is something that, in fact, I don't know if I should put it that the government of the day should put their eyes on it, because how can you clear a full container and just to deliver from that port to your place within Lagos, for example, and you'll be charged 600,000, 700,000. These are the things that the importer will still put into what he will use to do what to sell. And the end users are the ones, Nigerians, they are the ones that will still go and buy. And when you complain, the man will tell you, no, this I take clear them. That's how I take bring my goods. Now waiting I see, that's why I go take sell them. So, and someone that it will still affect someone who is receiving maybe 70, 80,000 as wages, the standard wages of Nigeria today. So, and you now see that at the end of the month, the person will not be able to do much with what is receiving as his salary. And what causes it? What comes from the port? No matter how you check it, whether it is locally produced or foreign goods, it's still based on logistics, because it is through logistics you will transport it to wherever you are going to. And if the cost is much, it will be an issue. And why do I say government should look into it? The diesel that's supposed to be less than 600 or 700 naira is now close to 1,800. So the driver will tell you the diesel is expensive. And before he can even move, he need to buy like 2 cans, which is about 60, 70, if not up to 100 liters. You know what that means. So you can't blame them because the diesel is expensive. The cost of their parts, space parts, and other things. some other charges they also pay at the terminal. Before they will go in, they will have to pay some certain amount of money. Before they will come out, they will pay some certain amount of money. As they travel from that port, Apapa or Tinkan or even Lekki Seaport, you will see some group of people stopping them on the road, collecting money from them. Sometimes you even see those guys out of anger. They run over and then they don't care what happens. And you see the person, the vehicle, the person driving it, even the owner of the container will be in trouble. So, but if the government put their eyes on this and then minimize the cost of diesel, the cost of transportation, and some other things, this will also benefit the poor masses. Like I said, it's many. The people who also serve the public, especially the agencies, they also have their offices in different places. They're trying, I know, yes, they're trying, but they should also work on their system. Because if it is a container that's supposed to come out within 3 days or 4 days, bad system of the internet in different offices that cannot generate what you pay or generate your documents or even help you to be able to clear some doubts, that can even make it to take more 5 days, learning into the second week. So these are parts of the issues. I think I have to stop here for now.
Right, thank you very much, sir. Logistics business is a very tough one. So what is the secret recipe that has allowed your company to expand and grow? The secret recipe.
The secret?
Yes, sir.
Do we even have secrets?
Sure.
Okay, I will limit it to about 3 points.
Okay, sir.
And one of the points is trust. Before someone can start working with you, even your partner, I'm sure the person will have he will trust you to an extent, and that will make him to say, I can work with this person, I can partner with this person. So we have that trust when it comes to logistics. Customer trust us because of what we do. To explain more, let me also say the second one is efficiency. Okay. We are efficiency in what we do, the fastness of delivery, Then the third one, I will say, is communication. Yes. Communication, even in relationship, in marriage. I'm sure you're aware of that. Without communication, it won't work. Yes, so let me start from the last one, communication. Before now, a whole lot of customers, they get BP when they deliver their goods to supplier, to logistic company abroad. I don't want to say to China alone. The reason why they get BP is because they don't have any information whatsoever of the movement of their goods. First, the supplier will tell them, I have delivered the goods. They will not trust the supplier. Probably someone have done something to them before. When they told them they deliver goods, and finally they find out the goods is not yet there. So they want to call the shipping company. And they will call, Mr. John, how far? My name is Mr. Oluwale. So and so. My number is so 080. I will say, okay, take it easy. Let me take pen so I can write it down. After that stress, I will now say, okay, don't worry. Let me check my warehouse and know if your name is there. So finally, I will call him back and say, your goods is not there. No name like that. No phone number like that. The person, why now? That means this person don't dupe me. The next thing, he will call the supplier and they will start quarreling. In his mind, he already concluded that his money is lost. He can't get it back. Because for the supplier to have told him that he have delivered the goods and the shipping company said the goods is not there, the question is, where is my goods? Yes. He's in Nigeria or any part of African country and he's not there. He can't even go there. The place is too far. If it's somewhere like, okay, I'm in Alaba International, let me go to my two. That's where the thing's supposed to be. He will enter Okada. Any available means to get there so that he will see things for himself. Yeah. But can you enter Okada to China? Are you a winch? You wouldn't do it. So E&C logistics, which is what I call why I said communication. We invested huge amounts of money, up to the tune of 4 million RMB, to build a system to sort out these issues. What that system does is that before you bring your goods to our warehouse, we'll give you a code. In that code, you are going to register the name of your supplier, phone number of your supplier, destination of your goods, and every other thing that has to do with that, including the CBM. By the time the goods is now entering our warehouse, we have a scanning machine. Once we touch it, It will give us every information, how many cartons, everything. So don't stress ourselves again. If there's anything we need to do, is to measure it, to be sure that the CBM the supplier told you is the same with what we'll get. And immediately we'll confirm it and click it in our system. Bam, you will receive your alert wherever you are. I wanted to mention OPay. Say the alert is very fast, but I know they will not pay. Anyway, one of my friends is one of their zonal manager. I know he will be watching, so he'll be happy. OPay, the way you just pay your money instant and they are seeing the alert immediately. That is how, once your goods enter E&C warehouse in China, or you, either ones or you will receive a alert wherever you are. Whether you are in Ghana, whether you are in Mozambique, whether you are in Abidjan, whether you are in Mali, whether you are in Kenya, whether you are in Kumasi or Accra, Ghana, whether you are in Alaba International, or you are in Trade Fair, you are in Balogu, you are in Lagos Island, you are in Ikeja, or even you are in Kano or Onitsha. Those are the places where we have branches. Any of those places where you are, you must receive alert. You may be working on the road and the alert will call. You didn't see the money enter. Oh, my goods there enter. You know, you don't need to call. We'll remove that stress of worry whether my goods is there or not. So that communication helps you to, number one, know that my goods is already there. You don't need to call anybody. Then the next day, or even the same day, if you load your goods, you still receive a alert. Their goods have been loaded in so container. When you now look at it, so oh, my goods there enter, you will now open your app, because we have an app that enables customers to monitor their goods. With that, your code and everything, the CNG number, you can now put it into your app and monitor that particular goods. And it will tell you the goods have been loaded. It is undergoing inspection in China. After some few hours or days, it will tell you the goods have been loaded into a ship. Before you know it, they will give you the ship number too, where you can now say, okay, this ship is selling. And when the goods start coming, you can monitor it by yourself. You don't need to call the office in Nigeria and say, Mr. Pius, how are you? Oh, how is my goods? Is it coming? Oh, you start calling our customer care. You don't need to do that because you're already following up with the app. So another good thing it does is that, for example, we have some issues when Nigeria, sorry, not Nigeria now, America and Iran, they started their issue, which affected the whole world. We have some ship that was on the way coming through the Middle East. When that issue started, they have to call them back. So this ship went and badged at the nearest where they can go. That's Malaysia. They went to Malaysia and stopped there. So you that have goods will be able to know that their goods that are supposed to be on the way coming is now going back to a different country. And they will now tell you that 5 days we'll give you before, it will now take a longer days. That will remove a whole lot of stress. You wouldn't need to call E&C Logistics, say, where's my goods? Why is it taking time? It's supposed to arrive yesterday. Now I'm not seeing anything. No. So finally the goods will get to Nigeria, the port of destination. You will receive another alert to tell that this goods is here, and it is now undergoing clearing process. Give us so time. And if you still have doubts, maybe the doubt would mean is that in case you want to pay beforehand, you want to pay before arrival of your goods, you want to know more about any information, call so phone number. Now system will give you, no be E&C will give you. Now our system, no be our people in the office. So these are what that communication has been able to do, the system. And finally, when the goods is being cleared out, you can even be on your way. Maybe you have some goods you're supposed to supply, but you're not sure if the goods will come or not. And then also, okay, let me just travel to the east or travel to Abuja for something and coming back. I have seen someone who was at the airport about to enter flight, and he received message from us that his goods is already at the warehouse. And they have contract, he's supposed to have supplied that goods in 3 days to come. But that goods not alive. He canceled his flight, went back home, paid his money, came to our warehouse, picked the goods, go and do the supply, and schedule his travel. That's what that system does. Assuming he based on analog, Mr. John, is my goods there? Even Mr. John feel no pick a call because not be only Mr. John the answer. So that communication has settled that gap. So coming to efficiency, you will see that E&C Logistics are not part of those people who will receive your goods in you or Guangzhou, China, then keep it for longer days. No, some people will keep your goods for 2 weeks, some will keep it for 3 weeks. You'll be begging them, asking questions every day, when is my goods moving? No. E&C will bring your goods, receive it, every day, by the grace of God, we're loading 7, 8 containers, 10 containers, as the case may be. That means there is no excuse that will make your goods not to enter a particular container and move within 24 hours. So that efficiency make it easy for you to even have targets for your business. When you say, okay, Oga, do you have this book? I'll say, yes. I don't want to use this as an example. I know you're looking at it because this is the chieftaincy. This now. I will call it Ofo in my place, and we don't joke with it. And I know the woman, they touch them from the back. Yeah, going back to what I was saying, for example, if you to use this book as an example, you may have a supply for this book from a company that may need it for something or school. So, and you will ask, where should I get this from? Can you help me? And I said, okay, fine, let me check a company that can produce it for you in China. Meanwhile, the people that need it, the school, they give you a timeline, say 60 days or 50 days. You can answer, okay, if I'm getting this from China and bring it through sea cargo, is it possible I can get it before that time? I will say, fine, no problem. With E&C, it can be rest assured that this will come, except if there is any unforeseen circumstances that happen. For example, what happened between Iran and America, that we cannot control. Or when the goods come, if that anyway, in Nigeria, there's no more strike per se like it used to be. In the past, there's a lot of strike in the port. That's 1 week, 2 weeks, they may not work. But apart from that, based on our logistic timing, we can tell you that within 45 days, 30 to 45 days, it can get this and supply. So what that system also do for us is that the efficiency of what we do, monitoring of the goods that comes to the warehouse, which one comes first, which one is so urgent, which one is so demand, and those ones we just have to click it, load it, let it go. And as it's coming, we started the process of documentation, we started the process of clearing. With the moment container land here, we now know that we have this urgent goods to deliver, so we have to do that. So efficiency in everything is very important. And also our people say time is money. A lot of people in the market, they borrow money, either they borrow from microfinance or they borrow from some of people who lend that money in the market, or they borrow direct from bank. And today the rate for borrowing is almost from 27% to 36%. So that percentage, for example, if you borrow 10 million naira, it means you have to make a huge profit of over 5 million naira for you to be able to pay 3.6 million or thereabouts to whoever borrow you that money. So which is not a small thing. And in business of today, you are not even too sure of getting. So, but if you get a supplier where you know you can meet up, you have two things to worry for: the people you have to meet up to supply to, the money you borrowed from bank or whoever to pay them back based on the time you are giving them. Someone told me some time ago that in his market where he do his trade, that some people borrow 1 million naira to pay 50,000 every day. So when you borrow 1 million from somebody, the person who borrow you the 1 million, his prayer is that you don't pay the money on time, so that the 50,000 will continue counting. Meanwhile, you that borrowed it, your prayer will be, let me finish on time so that I'll be able to pay only 50, not 100. Because once it's 2 days, it's 100. 3 days is 150. As the days goes by, they will continue to count. So if you are doing business with E&C Logistics, for our efficiency, you can be rest assured that yes, with these people, I can meet up with my timeline. So that's it.
So it's safe to say that the key spice or ingredient is trust, efficiency, and communication. Thank you, sir. So from what you said, I can see you have E&C Logistics established in other countries in Africa and even outside Africa, all over. So what can you say is the challenges your company faced while trying to build in other countries?
Well, I wouldn't see it as a challenge or a problem per se. I would say it as part of business because before we even made up our mind going there, we already know that those things are there. So as a businessman, you must face those challenges, and that challenges make it even more sweeter because they're saying that the first person will enter liver, now go drink the better water where they're there. So meanwhile, the challenges you can say, even if I have to use that word, is the language. For example, in Abidjan, 90% of the people in Abidjan speak French.
Yes.
If you go to Togo, Lomé here, 90% of people there too speak French, and me, I don't hear. And most of our people don't even hear. So even when you employ their local person to work for you, you find it difficult to communicate. So that language becomes an issue. So, but we're able to penetrate because of that the same trust I told you. By the time we move around and maybe 3 or 4 people have known us, use us in other African countries, that will not be the one telling people that this company is good. Those of our people who are there that understand their language will not use the language and tell them, oh, it's a good company, can go to them, And before you know it, they will get to understand. And their own, they are not even interested in the language again. Is how much. You tell them how much and it's finished, So, but if you have that fear that because of the language barrier, there's no need of me going, you'll be in one place, you can't even move, And the same motto, we know the waka, the no road. So another place where that they So ENC Logistics have been able to conquer most of the African countries because of the trust customers have built in us. I'm surprised to have visited some African countries. Just as we were walking on the road, somebody just called my name. I turned and said, okay, where do you know me from? He said, have you forgotten me? I met you in some place. And that person become my contact person in that place because I said, oh, this one I don't know me since now. It's better make we begin the parole together. And that helps a lot. And again, I would say we have to build integrity in a way that you don't let anything shake it. Why I use that word integrity is because that also makes you to go far, So those challenges you see why going into any branches, even within Nigeria, we still have those challenges. But because you have built integrity, because people have built that trust, because people know you, they know your yes is your yes, your no is your no. So they will always recommend you to those within and those outside country. So to me, it's fun. It's not even a challenge. Thank you.
All right, sir. So please tell us, where do you see your company and the Nigerian logistic industry in 5 years to come?
That is a huge one. I beg you, let me balance well. Well, if you're talking about generally, the industry is a very big one. And I'm sure we started somewhere a few years ago. Today we're better. And I'm sure coming to ENC Logistics, we'll have our own dream. And that dream has been carrying us. Want to see ourselves where customers will come to ENC Logistics, be represented by them being present. And that brings me to the thoughts we have and also the plan we have to buy our own ship in the next 5 years, God willing. Wow. Because some customers, after giving you goods you send by groupage or probably personal container, they will keep asking, where is my goods? After 2 weeks, the goods is not here. And you'll be the one reminding the person that this goods is by CO, not by air cargo. The ship does not fly, So I will be happy to get our own ship where I can have control over it. It will no longer be that the ship have to wait, have to go to Ghana, have to go to so place before coming here. So when you have your own ship, you have advantage, just like someone who owns his own car. Yes. He decides where he go with his car, where he stops, and what he do with his car. But when you are using other carrier, those ones who can decide to partner with you, partner with B, C, and D. And those ones may even say, okay, because the ship is not filled up, we'll have some goods going to Abidjan. Let's add it. It may be just few containers compared to the one coming to Africa. They will just go there, spend some time before coming. So why I mention this is because I have a dream that Nigerian logistic industry that need what I call a turnaround in a way that even the customers who are giving you goods to bring for them, they will feel at home. They will be happy. So if there's anything I would do, like we always do to improve our apps, like I told you about the system and some other things, we'll still have to do that in order to satisfy the need of our customers. Like I mentioned, that most customers we have today, they want their goods to come faster, as if it is by air. So I want a situation whereby customers will always feel more relaxed when they are being represented by ENC Logistics than them being present. So many people don't even know what it takes to ship goods. They don't know what it takes to clear the goods. And if you ask them why, they say there's no need because I have ENC Logistics, a trusted company, very efficient, and they communicate very, very well. So with them, I can go to sleep. So these are the things we want to improve on. And in the next 5 years, we will scatter the whole Africa, not by the other way around, but by bringing a lot of goodies to those who are in different countries, bringing goods to their doorstep. Thank you.
Amazing. So, sir, what is the advice you give to an upcoming SME who is looking to import and export goods without losing money?
Well, let me start by saying that a whole lot of young youths have started investing in this kind of
Logistics,
business,
yeah.
and this what boosts Chinese economy so many years ago. If you understand the system of online sales, you will know that China started it so many years ago when we still have trust issue. Because most times you will now begin to ask, are you sure if I buy, they will deliver what I bought from them? And that had been eliminated. So people are no longer thinking towards that direction. The trust issue is now more stronger, and people are now believing that if you order something online, people can actually bring it to you. A few months ago, where in my community, local government, exact local government, I intend to empower 500 youths to get into this business. And within the space of 2 weeks, we opened that platform. Over 1,208 people registered. In fact, almost times three of what we wanted. We shut the platform down. And I organized what I called educative section in giving them seminar training for them to even know what it is all about, which we did at International Conference Center in Enugu State. So after that, we selected the first batch, about 600 people who undergo training for the first skills, and those who desire to become importer, they are also part of it. As I speak with you now, after screening so many things, 6 months down the line, we have shortlisted about 267 who are qualified to go into various businesses and other things. So if you ask me my advice, I will even not take my advice to those young ones, but I'll be taking my advice to the well-to-do Nigerians who have one or two things to offer in their community. You must not wait until you have billions before you start looking for a young youth that you can help. With $100 today, you can become an importer. Even with $50, a lot of students now do business. 3 years ago, someone came to my office asking for us to assist, that he want to pay some tuition fee for this daughter that was in university. She finished now, I think she finished last year. I look at the young girl, I say, what else can you do? Because I know after paying for the school fees, they say you're still coming back again. If you don't come back to me, you go to someone else. And she just look at me and say, nothing. I just want to finish school. I said, no, you have to go and study what can move in your hostel. The young girls, young boys in your hostel, you can be buying on this, you can buy face to wear, you can buy some little things. I said, where can I get that? I said, don't worry, you can get it online. Just go and search Alibaba or some other online. You'll be able to see this. If you get anyone and they are not too sure, you can ask our company, they will help you to investigate. If they are okay and they can trust them, they will say, go ahead and pay. I gave her $100 to start up something. After a year, the same girl we're talking about now was able to pay for house rent, pay school fees, and even pay for the house rent of the parents. Till she finished school, she had become a millionaire. Just because of the little $100, as people can call it. I call it the big $100. And that brings me to the 5 P's. I always tell people that is what I call the 5 capital P's. P, 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 P. And it says proper preparation prevent poor performances. When you know you are ready to do something, you don't even need to wait till tomorrow. You can start now. And even if you want to start and say, oh, it's too small, the $100 is nothing, $50 is nothing. Apart from buying abroad, you can also buy from the local market and still do well. A few days ago, I was opportunity to be midst of some students from LASU. And I look at them, I say, how many of you are here? They say about 30 something. I say, how many of you want to go into business? They are just, I want job, I want to work so that I can earn salary. I say, well, you can work and earn salary. But for now, you are not even too sure. I need the business plan of 10 people. And I'm going to empower them with 100,000 naira. And the whole place scattered. So between that, last week, between that time till now, In fact, even those who don't even know about it, they heard of it, they have been sending their business plan. People who don't even have an idea of business, they're now going to search to be sure that they get something. They're able to convince me and my team in order for them to earn that $100 to start business. And the way I want to do it is just 100,000 naira for 10 people, which is about 1 million naira. But I already set a team that will monitor them, make sure that once they get the money, they will be able to invest it well. And by target is that by next year, they'll all become millionaires as well. So these are the things one can do. Even when you work and earn your salary, the amount of money you save can also still make you to be able to do some side hustle. If you are married and your wife is not doing anything as a man and you are working, you are bringing more trouble to yourself because she will do nothing but to wait for you to come and ask for money. And if you don't give, she will become violent. Even she's a quiet type. So at the end of it all, it is still a message to the well-to-do Nigerians. Wherever you are, if you know you're touching money, God has blessed you one way or the other. Look for one person, the young youth that you can empower, no matter the amount. That will go a long way. And for those who want to enter into the business, trust is the most important thing. When you're dealing with people, whether you're selling online or you're delivering physically, make sure if they pay for A, you give them A. If they pay for B, you give them B. Don't collect money for A and go and supply C. That will destroy your life forever. Thank you very much.
Wow, this is a whole lot, very much informative, and so much for me to even digest. I think I have to book a personal session. And to the viewers, I'm sure you've picked one or two from these informations too. Thank you very much, sir, for coming around. We hope to see you again and again.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Until next time, bye.